Hello guys and welcome to Astrology Coaching by Anatoly. Today we are going to discuss the first retrograde Mercury for 2021. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. New videos are coming every week. Videos about astrology, videos about astrology coaching, about spirituality and spiritual coaching. So let's start now. Okay, so the first retrograde period this year will be from 30 or 31st of January till 21st of February. Mercury will become retrograde in Aquarius, so it will be retrograde in Aquarius for a few days, and then the rest of the retrograde period will be in Capricorn. So the area in your natal chart where the Capricorn is will be very full with emotions and full with events, probably because there are so many planets now, especially in January and February. There are many planets in Capricorn. You can see Jupiter, you can see Saturn, you can see Sun, you can see Venus, and now in Mercury. So there is a lot of energy there. And now, since 1st of January, there is a Pluto too. But this is from the outer planet, so we don't use it so oftenly. But so many planets and so many emotions and so many influences. So the area Capricorn in your chart will be very intense. So you have to be very careful, especially you know what is retrograde Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, the planet of business, the planet of, this is the prince in Vedic Astrology. So you have to be careful if you are traveling, you have to be careful how you communicate, you have to be careful with your devices through which you communicate. You have to be careful what kind of information you give and receive, because there can be some misunderstandings. Okay, so let's start. I have drawn all the ascendants, so I know which area. So for people who have Aries ascendant or Aries moon, Mercury will be retrograde in your 10th house. And there are a lot of planets, as I told you, so you have to be very careful in the area of profession. The area of career, there can be a lot of competition, there can be a lot of miscommunications there, so be careful, especially speaking with your colleagues, with your boss. It's not good a period for, if you want to get a bigger salary, it's not the best period to ask about that, okay? For Taurus ascendant or Taurus moon, 10th house, Capricorn is in your 9th house. So this will be a period where you can have problems with your father, you can have problems with communication with your father, with your education. So this is not the best time to start a new education or to plan traveling to foreign places, okay? For Gemini, Mercury will be retrograde in your 8th house, so you have to be careful if you are working with other people's money. You have to be careful with speaking with your in-law family. You have to be careful if you want to start, for example, to go to psychotherapist or to start new program about healing your wounds. This is not the period to start new things related to psychotherapy, business related to astrology, occult. So, for example, if you want to start, if you're an astrologer and you want to start your business during this period, when Mercury retrograde is in your 8th house, it's not okay, because 8th house is the house of astrology, the house of occult, mysticism, psychotherapy, so this is not the best time. For Cancer people, retrograde Mercury will be in your 7th house. This means that there can be problems with your spouse, don't sign any type of contracts, because 7th house is the house of contracts, and especially in January and February, as I told you, there are so many planets there and there are a lot of influences, so you have to be very careful. Especially in the marriage and business relation. For Leo ascendant or Leo moon, your Mercury retrograde will be in your 6th house, so you have to be careful with your health. You have to be careful how you communicate with people that you see in your daily life. You have to be careful how you communicate with your co-workers. For people who have Virgo Ascendant or Virgo Moon, retrograde Mercury will be in your 5th house. So you have to be careful how you speak with your children. This is not the best time to start new investments, and this is not the best time to do gamblings or any kind of business related to self-expression, art, gambling, and business related to children, because 5th house is the house of new investments, new beginnings, and children. For Libra Ascendant, your retrograde Mercury is in your 4th house. This means that this is not the best time for buying new houses, new lands, new properties, and you have to be careful how you communicate with your mother and family. For Scorpio Ascendant or Scorpio Moon, your retrograde Mercury is in your 3rd house, the house of communication. So be careful how you communicate, what you are writing in the social media, how you express yourself, and be careful if you are training, because there can be some problems too with your hobbies, your training, dancing, and everything connected with your body. Be careful how you communicate with your siblings too. For Sagittarius people, retrograde Mercury is in your 2nd house. Be careful with your money. Don't spend money for things that you don't need, and be careful how you communicate with your family too. For Capricorn people, retrograde Mercury is in your 1st house, and there are so many planets in your 1st house. Maybe it's a very difficult period for you, or a period full of emotions, full of events that are coming, especially if you are in the right dasha. But this period is not for new beginnings, and not a period to start something new, to change your life. In this period, you have to think, and then after retrograde Mercury finish on 21st of February, then you can go forward. But of course, be careful. As I told you, January and February, there are so many planets there, so you have to be careful. For Aquarius people, your retrograde Mercury will be mainly in your 12th house. Be careful with hospitals. Be careful if you are planning to go abroad. There can be problems. You have to check the documents, and if you go to hospitals, be careful not to receive a false diagnosis. Okay. And for Pisces, your retrograde Mercury will be in your 11th house. Be careful how you communicate with your colleagues, with your professional network, with your circle. It is not the best time to start projects related to your dreams. It's better to wait a little bit till 21st of February and then to start. And be careful with your incomes. There can be some problems related to your source of incomes too. Okay, so this is the general explanation of retrograde Mercury for the first retrograde Mercury period this year. Of course, everything depends on your natal chart. This is very important. This is just a general explanation. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.